Hi guys, I'm Shmi and we're at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which has been the location for the unveiling of this car, the new Mercedes AMG GT R. Now the pretty cool news I can let you know is that I've actually ordered one of these, so I have a GT R coming at some point when deliveries start, I think in early 2017, but we're going to be able to take a good look around it now. I'll show you inside and out the car and we'll see it flying up the Goodwood hill climb as well. So what are we looking at? The new car, of course, based on the Mercedes AMG GT. We've had the GT and the GTS, but now we have the beast of the green hell. 585 horsepower from this, the 4-litre twin-turbo V8, all sorts of new modifications and work has gone into this by AMG in Affalterbach to make it a serious car. It's the hardcore version, I suppose you could say, of the AMG GT. Now, the most overriding thing to start with is the colour. This is called Green Hell Magno. It's a satin green, named after the Green Hell, the Nürburgring, of course, where the car was developed. In fact, the AMG GT3 car, on which a lot of this is based, actually came first, second, third, and fourth at the Nürburgring 24, which is a pretty cool sort of headline achievement. As we take a quick look around, you've got a grille that's very reminiscent of that GT3 car and the 50s Pan America style Mercedes SLs. There's a lot of active aero going on, I'll show you around that too. The entire car is a little bit wider, a wider track like the GT3 car. And as we come around to the rear, you can see there's a nice big wing on the back and a very loud exhaust. In fact, there's the twin sort of exit center exhaust, and there are also these side exhausts that you might not initially notice at first. So there's a lot to see with this. Let's take a quick look at the inside, where it's all Alcantara. I mean, this is what you know of the AMG. It's a comfortable car, but now it's a little bit more hardcore. You've got these bucket seats, which I can tell you from sitting in are absolutely great. And you've got all sorts of new features, in particular this, the AMG Traction Control. That has 9 different modes for controlling the level of traction you have when ESC is turned off. So that's a pretty nifty little feature. So we're going to take a full look around the car. For the moment though, I think we should jump over, see it, and then hear it.
World's first appearance in the UK this weekend, and it is the Mercedes AMG GT R. The GT is a great car anyway. On towards.
Let's fire this up. With the car, I want to talk a little bit more about the aerodynamics. So as we come down to the front grille, you can see it's got an enlarged grille to let more air in towards the cooling radiators. But down here you have some active aerodynamics, so it will open those flaps at speed for additional control. There's also, in the under tray, a skirt that lowers down for better stability at speed too. So you've got a lot of clever trickery going on. Towards the aerodynamic side, obviously the rear wing working in partnership with that, and the double-sided diffuser. So you have the 2 different parts of the diffuser on either side. This is a new titanium exhaust system, 6 kilos lighter, and as you heard, it sounds pretty phenomenal. That's one of the reasons I love this car. How can you make a twin turbocharged car sound quite that good? But Mercedes has somehow managed to do it. This colour is truly spectacular. It also comes standard with the carbon fibre roof, which works very nicely to break the colour. You've got a couple more sort of changes, and I guess I should point out the Pilot Sport Cut 2 tyres. that the car comes on, and some pretty big ones at that too. You've got 325s section at the rear, 275s at the front, and that's going to bring me on quite nicely to the rear wheel steer. You can see the rear steering happening. What's the maximum angle you get? 1.5. So those wheels turn 1.5 degrees, up to 100 kilometers per hour. They're turning against the direction of the front wheels. So if you have your front wheels turned that way, the rear wheels are turned this way. That gives you a little bit more grip, and of course makes the car feel like it can turn on rails. When you're going above 100 kilometers an hour, they turn with the front wheels in the same direction for additional stability and control. So there's a lot of clever trickery going on there. You can also have the car with AMG's carbon ceramics, saves another 17 kilos of weight. So that's pretty good if you want the right braking, of course, where the car was developed. And you know what, thinking about the exhaust, this is a fun thing to show you. The carbon fibre on the top there of the diffuser is actually to protect it from the heat of the exhaust pipes right underneath. You can imagine it gets pretty toasty with everything going on down there. Let's jump in and take a quick look at the interior in a little bit more detail. So in this car you've got the lovely yellow stitching and seat belts, which I think contrast very nicely against the green paint, and I'd be quite tempted to spec mine in this exact colour scheme actually. You're greeted with the AMG GT R there on the dashboard. Familiar setup if you know the AMG GT. It's all sort of the comfortable, you know, you've got the Burmeister Hi-Fi, luxurious finish. Fit and finish is actually all brilliant. But obviously now you've got this new traction control dial here. So if I just turn on the ignition, you've got a G-force sensor, in the center there. I'm just having a look around because it's the first time I've actually sat in the car. You've obviously got the traction control dial, which will only work when traction is off, but it's all familiar. You've got piano black finish trim, lots of the satin carbon fibre here and through the center console. Yeah, this seems pretty cool. I'm very excited. Having heard the car earlier today, it is a spectacular beast. And I'm looking forward to this one. So while I'm sat here, let me explain a little bit more about the car and how it fits into my thinking, because you're probably thinking, you just announced that you bought an Aston Martin GT8 and now you're announcing that you bought a Mercedes AMG GT R. I see this car as the car I think I'm going to use the most. It's a lot of excitement. It's a GT, so it's front-engined, relaxed, comfortable car, but it's the sort of badass version, if I can call it that. It's the cool one, so I want to drive it on road trips. I want to see it as a car that I'm going to have lots of fun with. And the sound it makes, my word, the sound it makes is just astonishing. I've never owned a Mercedes. I want to own a Mercedes. I'd like to know what they're all about. My parents had a few back in the day, so I've been looking forward to the opportunity to try, and that has now come. So the AMG GT R, it's still a fair way off. It might be 9 months to 12 months before delivery, so it's going to be a rather long journey, but I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea if it's going to replace a car in my garage, so please don't even begin to ask or discuss that when I put down a deposit, because I'm very, very keen to move into an AMG GT R. It's not a limited model per se, so we have no idea how many of them they'll make, but it's certainly a very good looking one. Let me jump out, because it sounds like activity has started here in the supercar paddock with things getting ready. Oh, I didn't actually turn off the ignition. There we go, shut the car back down. Yeah, so this is it. This is going to be one of the new Shmeemobiles. This is the second and final surprise, the AMG GT R. Another fun fact actually I haven't mentioned is the race start. Have it in the race mode. When you start it, it will start up with very, very high revs, which is pretty cool. So there we have it. Awesome car, love it. Can't wait to see and hear more of it. Hopefully get a first drive at some point in the not too distant future. I'm going to wrap up this one there though. Thank you very much for watching. It's the AMG GT R and I can't wait for it to arrive. I will catch up with you very soon. Cheers.